But we transition now into Survivor Series preview and predictions for Sunday night. We got 6 matches on the card. I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's not a show I'm extremely excited for. I feel like it's one of those pay-per-views where, and this has been the case with a lot of WWE shows. I can't tell you the last WWE show I was super excited for. Although even like SummerSlam, the build wasn't that great, but it ended up being one of, if not the best pay-per-view all year. Clash of Champions was alright. Hell in a Cell had its moments. This might be another show where the build hasn't really been that great, but it might end up being a very, very good show. Now, they are advertising The Undertaker's final farewell. We talked about this last week, but to kind of double down on that, any additional thoughts on whether this will or will not be the final farewell for the Phenom in WWE, RJ?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like as like an official, like just like done, but I mean, he'll keep coming back, so it's not like this is a final farewell, but maybe just like in a wrestling capacity. I said I don't really want to see him wrestle, but I mean, maybe he can squash some loser, who knows? But maybe he can beat up Elias, I don't know. But he'll always be there, so it's not like a final farewell, but hopefully his like in ring days are done.
Yeah, hopefully those are well over and past us. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say, how it's handled. Hopefully it comes out in either his debut attire or some sort of special entrance. I remember I'm sure you remember this. Remember at Survivor Series 5 years ago for the 25th anniversary of Taker? And they did that great entrance with all the different versions of him and stuff. I thought it was just phenomenal. But the actual match, they literally just outright buried the Wyatt family. Remember that? And they just never recovered?
I mean, I'll never forget them burying the Wyatt family. That will see. I remember, like, we're just like, well, we don't even use the word that much, but yep, they're buried. Like, Kane and Undertaker beat Wyatt, I think Harper in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
And then the Wyatt family got 0 offense, and it was like the most ridiculous thing ever.
Then they expected us to care about them beating the ECW originals at the TLC pay-per-view that we went to like a month later.
Oh, God. I forgot that they faced those bums there. Yeah, crazy.
Good times. So, anyway, back to Survivor Series. We got 6 matches here. I don't know how this is going to work if they split the wins. Usually they have 7 matches, because I feel like sometimes they have like a tag team elimination match, and I know that's what the elimination matches are, but I'm talking about like 5 tag teams versus 5 other tag teams. And I don't think they're doing that just because they don't have enough fucking tag teams to do that from either brand, which is why they're not doing that. So I don't know what's going to happen if they split it down the middle. I feel like it might be 4-2 or another clean sweep for Raw. I don't know. I know for a fact that Smackdown has not won its Survivor Series in like 4 or 5 fucking years. I don't know if they've ever won. Because that first year in 2016, they weren't really counting wins and stuff. I know they won the elimination match that year, but Raw won in 2017. It was a clean sweep for Raw in 2018, and then NXT won last year. So I feel like SmackDown has got to win this year, right?
Yeah, I feel like they kind of realize that SmackDown's the A show at this point. I mean, they get better ratings. Seems like the better show. SmackDown should get the big win this year.
I hope so. So we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Champion versus United States Champion. They had that terrible feud 2 years ago when we were at Money in the Bank. Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, or let me be more specific, Bobby Lashley and his sisters versus Sami Zayn. God, that feud sucked. Thankfully, this has been a lot better. I really don't have a lot of high hopes for the match. It could be good, but they're both heels, so I'm not really expecting a lot out of this. I'm starting with it just because it's the least intriguing match on the show for me, but Bobby is just, I feel like he's the bigger star right now, and I'm going to put Bobby Lashley over Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I think Bobby, like you said, Bobby's definitely the bigger star right now. He could use the win more. I like Sami, but he's kind of like that, like, little cowardly, pesky heel, so him winning here, I don't think is necessary. I think Lashley winning could kind of continue to tell the story that the Hurt Business is, like, a big deal, and they're dominant, so I would give the win to Lashley here.
Raw Tag Team Champions versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods taking on the Street Profits. First time ever. I'm looking forward to this. This should be a great match. I like both teams a lot. The New Day are established enough to the point where they don't need this win. I feel like they've won enough at Survivor Series before. They don't need this win. I feel like the Profits have, not that they have to go over here, but I feel like that would be the better option. So I'm picking the Street Profits in this one.
Profits, they need to win more. Like you said, New Day are so established. Another loss on their record won't mean anything. So Profits, that could be a big win for them, and make them seem like they're a bigger deal on SmackDown. They haven't really done much on SmackDown yet since been drafting there, so getting a big win over New Day, I think they could do a lot for them.
We go from a first-time ever match to a match we've seen at least 4 or 5 times over this point, but they've always worked well together, so I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. Asuka, Raw Women's Champion versus Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, Asuka has beaten Sasha almost every time. I know Sasha beat her for the Raw Women's Championship earlier this year. I think that was the only time that Sasha ever beat her, but that was via countout. She's never actually pinned Asuka in like a one-on-one match. Maybe in a tag team match earlier this year, but in a singles match, she's never beaten her. Asuka beat her on Raw early in 2018. Their Extreme Rules match back in July was like a no contest or something. Sasha beats her by countout. Asuka beats her again at SummerSlam, and then again the next night on Raw. Sasha has never formally defeated Asuka one-on-one. I think it's got to happen here. Asuka's just a complete afterthought right now. She's beaten Sasha Banks enough. Sasha Banks is the one with the real momentum in the moment. Coming off the Mandalorian, she's the women's champion. Great match with Bayley last month at Hell in a Cell. She's feuding with Carmella. Unless Carmella cost her the win, which would be fucking dumb. And they don't really do that for the brand supremacy stuff anyway. I feel like this has got to be a Sasha Banks win here.
Yeah, I think you can have Sasha win here. Like you said, she hasn't really beat Asuka at all. Sasha's definitely the bigger deal at this point. Asuka, unfortunately, at this point, has been an absolute, like you said, afterthought. No one even cares about Asuka at this point. She's barely been on the show. Sasha should win here. If Carmella's going to get involved, have Sasha get her win, and then Carmella can just beat her up after. And then Carmella can take the spotlight and then continue that feud, which I have enjoyed a lot. I mean, I'm not the biggest Carmella fan, but from this new repackaging, I don't know. I think it's just giving me a feud for the women's title that's a little bit different. It's definitely something I like, and it's new because they've kept doing these like rehash feuds. How many times did we see fucking Bayley and Sasha versus Asuka on Raw? A bazillion times. And we saw Bayley just bury the rest of the women's division. So
Yeah.
A new face, it's nice, and Sasha's champion's great as well. So I would say Sasha wins here.
And they've never actually done Sasha Banks and Carmella one-on-one for as much time as they've spent in the company together. They haven't been on the same show a lot, but I don't think they've ever actually faced off one-on-one. So that'll be interesting when that day comes, probably at TLC next month. Unless Carmella wins the belt from her on Friday, that would just be fucking dumb. Not that they've announced it, but you never know what might happen. Like Sami Zayn had an impromptu title defense a week ago that was announced like an hour beforehand, which was stupid. Thankfully, he won. So we get to the 2 elimination matches, traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination tag team matches. First for the women, representing Raw, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce. I mentioned that Royce and Evans are replacing, I mentioned this earlier, but they're replacing Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, who is legit injured, thanks to Nia Jax. What else is new? SmackDown being represented by Bianca Belair and the Riot Squad's Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, with 2 members to be determined. Now, I don't know who those other 2 members would be. Natalya's got to be one of them. She's been in every qualifying match. She's lost every fucking one. Clearly, she's going to be added to the team. Before we get to your actual prediction, who do you think's going to join Team SmackDown for the women, RJ?
It's a tough one, GSM.
Won't be Zelina Vega.
I mean, I think I think Bayley could be in there. I mean, what else is she doing?
Of course. I forgot about Bayley. Yep.
She's been the face of SmackDown. I would have Bayley. I would have Bayley be them, and then I honestly would have Rhea.
Rhea, okay.
I say you have Rhea here. They win, and she could be the sole survivor, and then they can do Bayley versus Rhea in the interim. Do like a nice little Bayley-Rhea feud as Sasha's facing Carmella, and then you can do Rhea and Sasha down the road somewhere. But I think Rhea can win. And then Bayley can be like, I was the face of SmackDown for a year. You're just a rookie. Like, who the fuck are you? Yada yada yada. And they can have a nice little like non-title feud.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I was hoping for that with Bianca instead, with Bianca being the sole survivor, and then she feuds with Bayley. I feel like if you're gonna, I mean, I would be fond of that too, but Bianca's been here a little longer, so I would rather see her get pushed first. I mean, I guess you could do Bianca and Natalya, but I guess that works, but Natalya's fucking, who gives a shit?
Whoever it is, yeah, you can do either way. I mean, I think Rhea would be a little bit better, but no, if you do it, if Bianca's, whoever it is, I think that would be the next story to tell.
Listen, anyone but fucking Lana. Please. Lana should not be the sole survivor.
If Lana's the sole survivor, I will stop watching the rest of the show. So hopefully it's the first match.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's clearly what they're setting up here, but like, you can't. I just can't buy into that. I could see a scenario where they put Lana through a table at ringside, like before the match even begins. I'm calling it right now. They're gonna put her through a table before the match even starts, and then she'll come back out like, "Oh, she's still in. She wasn't eliminated." And then she'll like come in and maybe try to pin Bianca or something, and Bianca will like fucking kill her or Rhea or whoever, you know. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully Lana doesn't win because I feel like that just benefits nobody, and she stinks. She's not good. So hopefully that's not the case. But you got SmackDown winning here regardless.
Yeah, SmackDown won.
So do I. We got the men's match. AJ Styles, the captain, self-proclaimed captain of Team Raw, joined by Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle. Don't call him Matt. And then Team SmackDown is consisted of Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, and Seth Rollins, with a final member to be determined. Once again, I pose the question to you, RJ. Who joins Team SmackDown? Is it Lars Sullivan? Is it Big E? Is it someone I'm not thinking of? Who is it?
That's a tough one, GSM. I mean,
does Daniel Bryan get another shot? I'm thinking Big E.
Yeah, you can do Big E. I think Rollins is facing Murphy on Friday, right?
Correct. So it's not like, oh, Murphy wins, which I'm thinking he will and he should, but it's not like that's his swan song and that's his farewell because Rollins will be on the pay-per-view 2 days later. So yeah.
A stiff match or just one-on-one?
Is the regular match. Ray's not on the team either, so they really should have Ray on the team over Rollins, but again, that's just me.
Well, yeah, probably Big E. Big E sounds about right.
Okay, so Big E in the match. I'm thinking Raw for this one. Team SmackDown really hasn't done anything together at all. Raw has been trying to coexist. I'm thinking a Raw win here.
Yeah, Raw. They've been building this up so much on Raw. This is easily the Raw win here. I mean, it's stupid because like we talked about, like they've been like team infighting and they can't get along, and it's just a tired trope that they've done for so long. It's just they're more mad at themselves than they are at SmackDown. So what's the brand supremacy? Like they don't even care about SmackDown. They're just busy fighting each other. Now this year especially, they've just like the build for the brand supremacy. Like usually I don't like love it because usually it's just like random brawls on each show. But I feel like they've done nothing to promote the brand supremacy, which I think is stupid anyways.
Yeah.
But they didn't like tease any tension. Like no one's attacked anyone else. It's kind of just been like, oh, we're SmackDown. This is who it is. They've had like more fighting than actually worried about the other show.
No invasions this year for the first time since this whole thing started. No invasions on either show, which is very surprising.
Drew was on SmackDown last week, but
yeah, I was gonna say Drew was the only one. That was the only one they attempted to build. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's about it. Who's the sole survivor for Raw? I would love it for it to be Keith and Riddle, but I think realistically it's probably going to be Braun Strowman.
I was going to say Braun Strowman.
Yeah, just given his Survivor Series success in the past, I wouldn't be surprised. So we get to the main event here as we wind down Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 35 rematch. I expected this match to be much better than that installment, just because they're much bigger stars at this point. Roman's doing great work. McIntyre's very good. It is WrestleMania worthy. They could always do this again down the road, but I think for this show, I think it's a great main event, much better than Randy and Roman. So Drew's going to put up a good fight, but I think for SmackDown to emerge victorious 4-2 to Raw, I think Roman's got to win here.
Yeah, Roman wins LOL here. I think Roman's the bigger star at this point. SmackDown's the bigger show at this point. Drew can afford to lose to Roman. I mean, Roman's, I would say, easily the big dog, like they call him. Yep. He's the big dog right now in the WWE. You can maybe have Jey Uso come out, maybe help Roman win, so Drew kind of has an out. Then they can go down the line. So I don't think he's gonna beat him clean as a sheet. That'll probably be some kind of tomfoolery going on. But no, Roman wins here. SmackDown wins the show and just kind of keeps their momentum. I think SmackDown. I mean, we never talk about SmackDown just because it's after we record the show. But SmackDown, I think, has been great lately, and I think the numbers have shown they've been going up more recently, even with the no crowd. I think the storylines have been there. I rewatched 2020 Royal Rumble this morning. Less Corbin dog food, like less Corbin in general. I think less Corbin in general has just helped the show as well. I mean, every time I've watched it, I haven't seen him on there. Maybe he is. Maybe I just zip through it.
He's perfect in a mid-card role, I think.
But yeah, so, no, I think SmackDown's been great. I think they built up a lot of feuds. They've had some feuds without titles involved. They've just done everything right. So, still don't know why Raw's been shaky the last month or two, but we'll see. SmackDown's the show to watch, and SmackDown should win Survivor Series.
Absolutely. It's the superior show right now, and if there was any year for them to win at Survivor Series, it would be this year. Just get rid of that poo-poo, Murphy and Aaliyah relationship, and I think the show's a lot better than it is.
What? That's money. That's money. Kids take. I love it.
Throw
love
it in the garbage. Hot garbage. Oh, we're gonna. The end game is Ray accepting that his daughter is dating a 32-year-old. Oh, this is amazing. Such a feel-good story. Terrible. Is he gonna be a Thanksgiving dinner next week?
I hope so.
Jesus Christ! If we get a Mysterio family Thanksgiving dinner segment on Smackdown next Friday with Murphy there, I'll probably turn off the show. I'm gonna say I wish Raw won at Survivor Series instead.
Wow. No, I think it's. I think it's been good. I mean, it is a little outlandish and it's kind of weird, but I think they made it work. It's for what if you looked at the premise on paper, you'd think it's a lot worse than it's been done. I don't know. I like it.
I know. I understand.
Brings back like 03, 04 SmackDown.
That's why it's so bad.
Big fan of those. Loved Miss L. Wilson in his undies.
Shit, that stuff was absolute garbage. Absolute trash. Absolute trash. Well, that's going to be it, Mr. Marceau. I'm looking forward to the show on Sunday. It should be a very good show.